Hello everybody and welcome to Hot or Hype, the show where we quiz the everyday person on the street about trends in retail technology. This is a really fun time to be in retail. Technology is transforming the world around us, and the retail industry has been impacted greatly. We've seen in the last decade startups rise to huge prominence, and old retailers that we thought would be around forever die and go away. It's a time where retailers are investing a lot in different types of cutting-edge technology. Some of that technology right now is hot. Everybody knows they need to adopt it to bring their business to the next level and get really key business outcomes. Some of it is hype. Think the Gartner hype curve. It's early in the curve. Not everyone is investing in this technology, but it's very cutting edge and can create really exciting retail experiences. So, having said that, let's look at some of these technologies and see what our people on the street think of them. Are they hot or are they hype? Let's go. Hello, next contestant. Thank you for playing Hot or Hype. All right, so your Hot or Hype question. I think you've heard we've been given the rules as we've been walking around. We've been kind of loud, so people are starting to get it. Okay, so Hot or Hype question. Personalization. Retailers are beefing up their personalization programs in order... Before I even finish the question, it is hot! It's so hot. Personalization is so hot right now. Yeah, we see it permeating through e-commerce, but it's also coming through multiple digital channels across brick and mortar, e-com. Yes, absolutely. Pretty much everybody who's anybody is working on personalization right now. All right. Oh, hello, contestant. We're stopping our contestant, making sure you don't go nowhere. Okay, are you ready to play Hot or Hype?
I might be.
Okay, great. Just say yes. So we are getting the opinion on the street of a common everyday person, like you, to get opinions on technology trends in retail. So I'm going to ask you a question. You just need to answer. Is this hot technology or is this hype technology? Okay. Automated checkout in retail. Retailers are starting to implement automated checkout technologies like the Amazon Go store to reduce friction at checkout. Is that hot or is it hype?
I think it's totally hot.
I love it too, but I'm sorry. It's hype! Yes, we are starting to see these experiences out in the world, especially here in Seattle, which is where we are, viewers, if you didn't know that. And but not all retail, it's not wholesale adoption. Some cutting edge retailers are adopting it, but not quite hot yet. It's okay, great. Thank you for playing. So Flamingo, blockchain, hot or hype? I think we're going to need to find another contestant for this question. I'm going to ask you a question about technology, trends in technology and retail. And you just need to answer whether you think this is hot technology or if it's hype. Okay, you ready? All right. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, retailers are using machine learning and AI for efficiency gains and better customer experiences. Hot or hype?
Hot.
Oh, yes! It's hot! Woo! Yeah, it is very hot right now. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, great for personalization campaigns, great for great customer connections, and it's really, really good for finding efficiencies with anything having to do with data. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hot or Hype. In the studio today, I have with me Annie Ho, a global retail architect. And she is here to talk about reimagining retail. And so, Annie, you're out there working with some of our biggest customers on some really exciting projects. Where do you see the future of retail really going when it comes to reimagining that experience?
Yeah, so I think the technology that I keep thinking about is AI, artificial intelligence. One of the major areas that retailers have top of mind is really about how to drive that customer loyalty. With all the competition that's out there, it's getting harder and harder to capture customers' attention and keep them coming back. Price is not really the only factor anymore. It's about that entire experience, right? how are retailers connecting with their customer, maybe even their brand messaging, and maybe what's most important is around how to create that personalized shopping journey, right? So AI can really enable that personalized shopping experience for a customer by bringing together all of those data points, customer data touch points together, and helping the retailer to engage customers at those right moments, whether that's going to be online, through social, maybe even in the store, through different experiences, or through the brand ambassadors that we have, or otherwise known as frontline workers, right? I am just amazed when I think about the fact that we have 90% of our data that was just generated in the last 2 years, and our new research is showing that we're going to get something like 460 some odd exabytes in the next by 2025. That's only 5 years away, right? It's kind of mind-blowing, but can you imagine the types of how close we're going to get to hyper-personalization in retail experiences just with that amount of data and the power of AI? So the opportunity is just so vast, and we are just touching on the power of AI right now as of today.
So personalization and AI, two really hot topics out there in retail. And I think when we were talking to our audience members or our contestants on the street, they both identified those as hot technologies. So if you're a retailer out there, how can you start to take advantage of maybe the data you have, or to try and drive better personalization and really take advantage of AI, the tools that are out there today?
Well, I think first of all, for a lot of retailers that I'm talking to, they don't really have a concrete data strategy yet. They know that they need one. They have a lot of data all over the place. So the first step forward is going to be helping retailers get that data put into one place, and maybe having a data platform, right? Secondly is understanding where they are on the maturity level of AI, because some retailers that I'm working with, they are not quite ready to put their arms all around or get all into AI quite yet. And so that maturity level is something that they need to assess as well to get there.
Gotcha. So really starting with analyzing their data, figuring out where they are, and kind of based on where they are in their digital journey, so to speak, figuring out where to invest to push these initiatives forward.
Yes.
So personalization, super key. AI, it's a broad topic. There's so many different ways AI can touch the experience, the retail experience. I mean, have you seen AI out there being used for better customer experiences, or kind of that one-on-one interaction with the customer?
Yeah, the AI is just amazing, and I think we don't realize, being in the day-to-day, how much we're actually engaging with artificial intelligence. It's everywhere and embedded in everything that we're seeing and touching, right? It's in our phone, it's in our TVs, it's everywhere. So I think some of the experiences you can think about is just something like the voice commerce, right? Alexa, how you're interacting with that, or Cortana, for example, for Microsoft, of course. One thing that I find just amazing is, we talk about a lot of this in retail, but is creating that authentic connection and authentic engagement with our consumers. And what's fascinating, especially in the fashion space, is using AI to create these fashion influencers. So if you have heard of Little Michaela, she's a fashion influencer that was actually created by AI, and she has now like 1.6 million followers, but she's so authentic and genuine that her followers continue to grow. So it's really amazing how much AI continues to evolve to become so real and authentic, and people don't even realize how much they're really engaging with them on a day-to-day basis.
That's interesting. Yeah.
You should check her out. She's pretty cool.
I will check her out. Believe it or not, I haven't heard of her before today.
There's actually a few of them that are in the fashion space.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
you mentioned Cortana and Alexa. I think getting caught up in that, the AI wars, part of the real key is focusing on, or what I've seen is really key, is focusing on what's important for your brand and what you really specialize in. And I think we've seen that with Cortana. She's kind of taken more of a step back and is focusing on being a digital assistant in the workplace. And Alexa is still really your shopping assistant, your shopping helper.
Yes.
So they specialize in different things based on kind of what their parent companies really care the most about.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, Chris. What Microsoft does really well is their understanding of where our strengths are, right? And I think Microsoft doesn't want to be the brand for everyone, right? We're here to empower other brands to build their own experiences on our platform. And Amazon does their own thing with Alexa, right? That's their shopping platform, that's their voice commerce, however they want to use that. But Microsoft has a different strategy in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to ask you, I mean, I love AI, personalization is key, but one of the questions we asked people on the street about was automated checkout. We're here in Seattle. We see Amazon Go stores. We're seeing them roll out more. We see some retailers start to experiment with that technology. Kind of what do you see out there as far as automated checkout goes? Kind of how far are retailers taking it? What is the state of automated checkout today?
So automated checkout, that's an interesting one. Everybody wants to compete with Amazon Go and Amazon in general, because I think there's this fear of falling really behind. But I think what you have to realize is Amazon Go was really created for a very specific demographic, a very specific space. So it doesn't work well everywhere for every space. Like, you can't put that in the suburbs and expect people to have that great experience, right? You can't even take children into the Amazon Go store for a reason. The automated checkout is important for certain areas, and I think the experience is good when it is done well. What I see that is missing is that retailers are not creating the right experiences for their stores, right? So they are adding friction back into the process by trying to automate and copying what Amazon Go is trying to do, right? So sometimes by doing things like mobile POS checkouts, or trying to do a self-checkout space or things like that, you start adding different types of friction back into place. So when you're doing the automated checkout, I think retailers really need to think about who their customer is at that point, and then design that backwards and really create that automated checkout space for their customer. And it has to be in the right moment, right? We can't all be in Amazon Go at the same time, because it really doesn't work out that way.
The experience is so key. One last thing, which is funny, you made me think about this, was when I first saw a robot walking up and down the aisle. There's completely changing the topic here, but a robot going up and down the aisle of a grocery store scanning the shelves.
Yes.
And there was a big red button down at the bottom. And I was thinking, if my kids see that, the first thing they're going to do is go slam that stop button, emergency stop button. So you do really have to think about, how are people engaging with these experiences? How are they interacting with them? And how does it integrate with our everyday life? Because retail is part of our everyday life.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's another good point on that, the robots in the stores, because we are seeing a lot of ways to become more efficient in the stores by using robotics. But again, it's, when you build that experience, who are going to be the customers in the store, or the employees that are in the store engaging with those items and the robots and such, and then how will that impact the store experience, right? A lot of times you see that kind of stuff in the stores, and people are so busy staring at that they're not really shopping, right?
Yeah.
Or you'll see the kids like, wow, and then touching it and doing all these things, and it takes away from the actual, what the purpose of that is, just to do the job of scanning, shelving, doing all those things, right? The inventory checks, getting the job done. It takes away from the actual customer experience of shopping and getting out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It is fun, though, to play with.
It is fun, yes. I wish I had more of that.
More robots.
Yes, more robots.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I had.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Annie. It was great having you here.
Thank
Love
you.
having your insight.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you again for tuning in to this week's episode of Hot or Hype.